Welcome back to the PTO Unlimited podcast. My name is Brett.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Rick.
Hey.
This is episode 97 on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And fitting that it's three dudes.
Sorry about your luck, guys.
Sausage fest amongst us.
Just to say, in case you're wondering why Alex is not here, she's at a thing for a thing. I don't know.
She has things.
She's at some performance, so Rick is sitting in.
Yes. She's at a musical, actually. I think it's Chicago, the musical. It's
Yeah,
downtown
sounds right.
Fort Wayne. So, yeah, that's what she's at.
By the way, Rick, you are a member of the PTO bowling team.
Yes, you are.
And Shane posts these papers that I can't read because, I can read them, but I don't know what they mean. So why don't you explain it?
Well, a bunch of letters, numbers,
Well, I get that part. What does it
What does it mean?
Well, first of all, you'll see a list of probably about 10 teams, maybe 15 teams on each side. That's
Okay.
where we stand in position.
Okay.
Right now, or before last night, we were in third place. We took every point possible last night. We all bowled, over 200 average.
Nice.
So we should be hopefully second place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's what you'll see on those top left and that top right column.
What it means when he circles names.
He's just circling us so you guys can see.
This is like a foreign language.
Yeah.
So next time, Shane, just say it.
Yeah. Like Rick did really well. Ashley had a great series,
Yeah.
If the best score you can get is a 300, don't pro bowlers just bowl that easily then?
Sometimes. I don't know if you've ever seen it on ESPN.
I've watched pro
Yeah.
bowling.
A few
I've watched pro
times.
bowling.
They'll put up 200s, but it's all about the oil pattern, and that's why you don't see the same. Well, for the most part, you don't see the same bowlers doing good every time. Like
Oil
last
pattern,
week,
huh?
yeah. It's basically the oil they set on the lane.
Yeah.
It can only go so far, it goes so wide. So it's just the pattern, how your ball reacts.
So it's like playing indoors and outdoors with, football.
Yeah,
It's
something like that.
It's
Lane
different condition.
conditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of their competitions is like skill shots, kind of like billiards. I would imagine it's mostly sponsorship.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like with golf is the same, isn't it? Where if you
Well,
get
except
sponsored,
golf is like a national stage or a global even stage.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
their prize pools are just like $1
Yeah,
million purse every time.
Tiger Woods in his heyday was making millions and millions and millions of dollars. When Tiger Woods got crappy,
Yeah.
Nike shut down their golf division.
Wow.
That's how big he
Wow.
was to golf and
So-
how much money he made.
he made that much and he banged that many women.
And now
Yes, he did.
Nike's actually getting out of golf.
I guess it didn't equal out to what they'd have to pay a lesser golfer to sponsor them. They just weren't going to move the amount of merchandise that he did. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if we'll see anything like Tiger. Like
Probably, maybe never again.
we say that about Montana. Now there's Brady.
Sure.
But what he did was just phenomenal.
Yeah, he was a
So-
good golfer. He had a game named after him.
Yeah.
So we got some Valentine's Day questions here. Today is Valentine's Day at time of recording. So what I want to say is, as men entirely, we spend the money on women, right? It's a given.
Well, I didn't this year.
If you want to be
know what I
happy,
mean.
yeah.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So this is a guy chat. Like we actually get to have guy conversations. And what's the most you've spent on a Valentine's Day gift?
Honestly, probably maybe 60,
Yeah.
60, 70, somewhere around it. And unless you're counting dinner as well.
No,
So-
dinner's not. Really
I've
a gift.
only
Yeah.
been in a relationship for Valentine's Day a handful of times,
Right.
and I'm sure it wasn't more, somewhere between 50 and 100.
Oh wow, yeah. See, Alex and I, we don't like spending money on each other.
To me, Valentine's Day is a test for new relationships.
Right.
Once you're seasoned and been together for a while, it just doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
You still do nice things, but it's not a test, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's my
like-
opinion of it.
Like guys say, it's that Hallmark holiday.
It
is.
I mean, even some women, they're
yeah.
like, you know what? It's just Valentine's Day. I mean, probably not, but
Not all women.
yeah,
Not all women.
I mean, some of them, and,
Right.
and they're still probably thinking in the back of their head, like, you better
You
get me
motherfucker,
something.
you
Well,
better
I mean,
get me something for Valentine's
Should
Day.
I do, if I was in a relationship where I would do something, I think just the gesture of sending flowers to her place of work.
I did that for Alex on Valentine's Day last year, and she had a big girl moment. She cried and everything.
See, I mean, there are several occasions between husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, where you gotta do something, and at some point, especially if you're together a long time, you gotta think, how am I gonna surprise her? There's
Right.
nothing left to do per se unless you get real creative and real expensive.
Or kinky.
Well, that too.
So personally, I don't think you should base your relationship off of how much money you should spend on each other.
No.
You know, it's like I truly think the test of a relationship is when you're broke. Oh my
And
God, I can't do anything.
Thoughtful
Yeah.
gestures that cost nothing.
Well, what do you
Yeah.
think about setting limits? Is that something you guys do? Is like, hey, I'm going to spend 20 on you. I'm going to spend 20 on you.
We did that for Christmas. So what does Valentine's Day mean to you guys?
Nothing. Well, I mean, it might mean something as a single person.
I love that reaction.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I agree. If I could do his voice again, I'd be like, nothing.
Nothing.
See, I'm the only single one at this table.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So,
But you
it's-
haven't been single your whole life.
That's true. It's just, I don't know.
But saying that, like, Valentine's Day to me, you know, it's like, it's nothing. It's okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not for the guys.
It
so,
isn't.
I mean, my favorite holiday is New Year. That's
So-
just me.
So what is a guy's holiday?
Super Bowl.
Ooh. That's not
Unofficial,
bad.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not
unofficial.
bad.
I'd say
Not everybody watches football though.
No.
I wouldn't classify it as a guy's holiday. I think guys enjoy Memorial Day / 4th of July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lighting up
'Cause
fireworks.
There's grilling and beer and
Yeah.
it's summertime. The weather's nice.
But man, lighting off fireworks is nothing better. I gotta agree that 4th of July is probably the guy's
It's kind of like
holiday.
a macho, like,
Yeah,
blow
macho,
shit up, you know?
America.
Fuck yeah.
I would say that even though it's a Sunday, the Super Bowl should be a holiday.
It should be a national holiday.
Because
Why?
it's just
Well, I gotta ask
everybody. I don't know. It's just a day that everybody knows, and I think it's the one sporting event that even if you're not a football fan, you might watch.
Okay.
And you're gonna, you know, have some beers, have some cocktails.
always
there's food.
parties.
There's always parties.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's productive on Monday. Nobody wants to be there.
How old's Utley now?
The dog.
Yeah, the dog.
He will be this coming year 11.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does he still jump up and smash you in the balls?
Once in a while. He's getting older though. He's like, you know,
He
screw
did that
it.
to me all the time.
Yeah.
Well, see, I don't know if we announced this on the podcast. You two used to be roommates.
For
Sort of. It wasn't
Yeah.
quite like that. Rick did me a huge favor. No, he did me 2 huge favors. So I was.
Go on.
I was.
easy
I
there.
was.
Yeah.
Well, how do I describe it? I was pretty much homeless for a short period of time,
Right.
to where I was kind of deciding where to go next.
Transition, yeah.
Yes, and Rick let me crash at his place. That was one favor, and
Right.
then he was basically my personal chauffeur while I had my DUI
Yeah.
suspended license issues.
Yeah,
So
and that just fell off your
I
record,
basically
right?
just gave him my car.
Yeah. Actually, I was in an accident. Actually, it timed out perfectly. So I
Yeah.
was actually using his
Oh,
car to
that's
get
when you
back.
lost your Dodge
Stratus.
Stratus.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
you had to
love
think
it,
of it to
yeah.
you, the Stratus.
Yeah,
It's like
I
it's
love
there.
that car, but yeah, I was in an accident, so I didn't have a car, and I'm like,
Why don't you talk about the Olympics real quick? Because
Yeah.
they're going on right now. I really have not watched a thing.
I'm gonna see if there's anything major. I know Shaun White just won.
I saw there was some kind of
Gold.
scandal with somebody got accused of maybe sexual harassment or something like that. I'm not
shit.
sure on that.
I did not
yeah.
see that. But one story that comes out every time there's Olympics is the passing out of the condoms.
Yes, and it's a higher condom count than
Do they?
before.
So do
The
they
previous years.
physically give them to the
Yeah,
players?
they're available in like the where all the athletes hang out.
Olympic
Ah.
Village. Yeah,
And
Okay.
it's funny because Ryan Lochte, who is a swimmer on the Team USA, back in I want to say the 2012 Olympics, maybe he had a girlfriend, and he has said if I had to do it again, I would not have a girlfriend because everybody is just hooking up.
Oh, really?
So and
Dang.
he's married now and doesn't matter anyway.
yeah. Well, they ran out last year,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
they upped them. I don't know if they got
wow.
a contract with Durex or Trojan.
Trojan or
Yeah.
Trojan man. So I'm looking up the medal count here as far as gold, silver, and bronze go. Right now, Germany's killing it with 12 in total. 7 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. The United States is sitting at 4, 1, and 2. Shaun White he's the one with the sexual harassment. I literally just read that. After graphic
Yeah.
sex harassment lawsuit resurfaces, Shaun White says, I regret my behavior.
It's so out there though, just with the harassment. I mean, you can touch somebody, they'll say, "Hey,
Yep.
That's just a social media. I mean, you can't do anything more and get away with it.
People are so sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, Rick, you and I, we had this conversation right when our podcast started, where you and I were sitting at the B-Dubs table talking about starting up the podcast with Brett. You and I were having a heated discussion about Facebook versus Twitter.
Yes.
And we never got to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
Okay.
So when at the time, Brett, do you remember this conversation we had where Rick and I were fighting?
Vaguely.
You vaguely remember?
Yeah, we were sitting
at the
across
B-Dubs
from
table.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So you love Twitter, and I loved Facebook. I don't like Facebook
There's
anymore.
an E&D there.
Yeah.
Do you love Twitter?
I don't love Twitter. Like, I'm not going to go home and,
Make love to
yeah,
it.
exactly. Like, get my phone, make sure it's nice and charged. 75% should do.
So they have an attachment for your phone now
That's
that
that robotic
vibrates.
stuff.
And it's very nice.
I'll be back.
See you later. What was it about Twitter that drove you to it over
I don't
Facebook?
know. I don't do much on it. I get what I need out of it.
What really killed Facebook for me was the presidential race.
Really.
Yeah, that's really what got me off of Facebook.
One thing I remember is just laying on my couch, and I'd be sitting there just scrolling. I'm like, 15 minutes went by, and I'm like,
There's nothing interesting, nothing you want to see.
Why did I just do that?
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm bored. 5 minutes later, nothing again. I'm like, why did I just do that?
Right.
Which you can do that with Twitter too.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's a stopping point because I do a lot of fantasy football, fantasy baseball, all kinds of stuff. So I get the information I'm looking for, and I'm kind of gone.
Out, in and out. Yeah, I mean, I get that too. Twitter's very clean. If there's something you don't like, you can simply block that person. You can do the same thing on Facebook, but
I mean, Twitter for me, I don't tweet much.
Right.
I mean, what I do is I check in, like, say I'm watching like Raw or something like that, or where I'll see what people are talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I feel the same way. Or we're finding a new meme, from somebody's face from the.
Well, when you would come over for the pay-per-views, you'd be the one to look up GIFs.
Oh yeah, and that just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
With Jericho holding onto the rope and like looking like
that
just
face,
had
that face that he had.
Bad night
oh my
out.
gosh, what was that? Was that WrestleMania last year? I think it was
Against Kevin
Mania?
Owens. Yeah, I think so. But he's holding onto the rope and he's just like terrified. I'm like
looking so scared.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, damn, that looks like me after a night out. And I look in the mirror or something like just freaky.
One thing that's impressive about Shaun White is that he's killed it at the X Games on a skateboard.
That's
so
right.
He's rather, and what's
He's
cool about a
well-versed.
skateboard is that it doesn't stick to your feet like a snowboard does.
Right.
So
that's the Olympics. Every 4 years, right, is when it goes to.
Well, I think
winter?
it's 2 and 2.
It's 2 and 2 because you have the summer and the winter.
Oh yeah, winter's every 4.
Alternate.
Every 4 years, winter.
Summer's every 4, but they alternate.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
Okay. Let's move on from the Olympics.
I wanted to talk about something I saw on TV real quick.
Yeah.
So everybody remembers the movie Napoleon Dynamite, right?
Absolutely. Vote
Never
for Pedro.
watched it.
I've never
watched it?
watched it from beginning to end, but I think we had it on display at Walmart because my
Oh,
boss was a
sure.
big fan. I mean,
Really?
it came out of nowhere. It made a lot of money. It put John Heater on the map.
It did, and he's not on the map still.
Yeah.
He's done some stuff,
on
but
one
he's
movie.
not it. No, he's done more than one.
He did.
Did
He did
bench
the Bench
warmers.
Warmers,
and
yes.
He did
That's all I know.
Blades of Glory.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot about
that's
Blades
right,
of
that's
Glory.
right.
That's right. I
School
forgot about Blades
of
of Glory.
Scoundrels, I think. With
No,
Billy
that was a
Bob.
good. That's actually
Holy
and
cow.
Sean William Scott, right?
I don't remember.
School for Scoundrels?
but do
I think so.
remember
Yeah.
Billy Bob. I land on Nickelodeon because an episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was on. There's a Ninja Turtles character called Napoleon Bonafrog, and he's just like this supporting character. Just comes on.
Napoleon Bonafrog.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Say that slower.
I'm listening to this. I'm listening to the dialogue. I'm like, that's John Heater. It's John Heater playing Napoleon Dynamite as this Napoleon Bonafrog character. I'm like, that's brilliant. No kid is ever going to understand how good this is.
Right.
Because he's playing the Napoleon Dynamite character as this cartoon character.
As the cartoon
Because it's
character.
when something happened, he'd go, idiots. It's just
Gosh.
Well,
Like,
Easter egg, yeah.
Nobody's ever going to appreciate this because
No,
no,
they're not.
adult, because that movie came out like 10 years ago or longer. like
I
05
actually
or
had it up
06.
right here.
Was it?
It
I think
came
close to
out
that.
2004.
Yeah, I
Four
was in
years.
high school. That's right.
14
Wow.
years
Yeah.
ago
Yeah.
when that character was born.
When
quote
the,
unquote.
yeah.
And now he's doing, he's playing this part on this cartoon, and
That's fantastic.
The target audience has no idea.
They don't.
You know,
they have
it's a
no
shame
clue
because it's so clever.
So you guys never really watched the whole movie.
I'm kind of like Brett in that like hasn't seen much in terms of movies. Like
Okay.
and I haven't either. I
Yeah.
just never made it a point.
Well, that's fine.
I mean, it just depends on the movie. Like Napoleon Dynamite, I tried to watch it because I was like, hey, everybody's talking.
Everybody's
about it.
talking about
I might as
it,
well
yeah.
try to give it a shot. I was
Yeah.
watching the opening credits and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, it takes place in Idaho, I think,
Yeah.
and it's just a high school, and the hottest girl is Hillary Duff's sister. It was good for the time because it was easily quotable, and I think that's what made it.
And I should have
given
gave it a chance just to.
It's
If it's
Time's coming
if it
past.
doesn't grab you right away, you
No,
know.
and I was just like, why? And I hate me, but yeah, I
Well,
just
Was
didn't
it
like it.
Uncle Rico? Was
Uncle
that-
Rico. Yep,
and,
he's the guy who was the quarterback. Kip is his brother.
And then Pedro was
Pedro's
his
his
friend.
friend.
Yeah, I know the characters. That's about it, though. Yeah.
What was it? Tina was the llama.
Tina,
right?
you fat lard, come get some dinner. Yes,
Didn't he live with his aunt or something?
he lived with his
His
grandmother.
grandma. I don't
Yep.
know her name. He wears those kids' snow boots.
Yes, he wears the snow boots with the jeans and the t-shirt tucked in.
What says vote for Pedro?
Vote for Pedro.
John Heater hadn't done much lately. I really thought he was funny in the Benchwarmers.
He was good.
Yeah.
That was a good part.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a pretty funny movie.
Yeah,
Benchwarmers.
I remember that movie came out between me and like two different groups of friends. I watched it 3 times in 2 days.
Really?
Because I'm like, I watched it once. I'm like,
It's not that
you
funny.
you gotta watch this. It's great, and we would watch it.
Oh
then.
my god, I didn't think it was that great. I hated the robot.
Well, that was kind
The
of just
butler.
filler, though.
Number 7?
Yeah.
yeah, number 7. I hated it. I hated the kid. I just like this kid doesn't. No, I hate him.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing about it now. It
See,
still makes
he's
me laugh.
laughing about it because he sits. Doesn't
Well,
he have
plus,
like
it's a
dog shit on his
baseball
face or
movie.
something?
Well, the part I keep going back to is I ticked it. I ticked it again. He was fouling off pitches.
You're still out. You're still well, and it's got David Spade,
David
Yeah.
Spade,
Rob Schneider,
Rob Schneider, John
Yeah,
Lovitz.
yeah. Rob Snyder's who I was thinking of.
Craig Kilborn.
Yeah.
No, Ferguson.
Sean Salisbury.
You
the
got
old-
it right, Craig Kilborn.
Kilborn. Okay.
Yep.
Sean
Salisbury,
Salisbury,
the old football.
Tim Meadows.
Terry Crews,
Nick Swardson.
Nick
Yep.
Swardson, who
He was the
is
one afraid of the dark.
David
or light,
Spade's
the
brother.
light,
Yeah.
What do guys truly look for in women?
I think it's different for everyone.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It is.
It definitely is. I mean, Brett, I know you're an ass man.
Well, I guess. Now it's less about physical traits.
It's more about personalities,
Yes,
right?
because
You don't want to wind up being with someone who has a terrible personality.
exactly.
That's the worst.
I actually went through phases. Either I was an ass man at one time,
Yeah.
or brassed or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, face or it just depends. One of my go-tos. If you're short, it kind of gives you an extra point on the scale for some reason. I don't know why,
Really?
but that's
You like
I don't know.
short chicks?
Because
Yeah.
we're short.
Yeah, well, yeah, being what 5'7".
Oh, dude.
But, yeah.
it-
You think you see someone who's 6'5", 6'6", that's really cool to be that tall. It's not that cool to be
No.
tall because you can't fit in cars, your
Mm-hmm.
clothes, you've got to find really long jeans or whatever. So
Do
being
you-
of average size is actually a good thing.
Do you remember our old friend Sheldon?
Yeah.
He was like, what, 6'10", 6'9"?
He's a tall one. yeah.
Tallest guy I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And I have some really tall uncles. And I
Well,
remember when he
to the
stood
point
next to
when
you.
You look up at them, yes.
Is there a certain height you guys wanted to be when you were growing up?
Oh,
I had that.
I'm good with being at least 5'10".
Yeah, I
That's
knew
what
I was
am.
always going to be a short. That's how my dad is.
I've never
Mom
met your
is.
dad. I've
Yeah.
never met your family, and I've known you for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've met Brett's family.
And you've been to her house too.
I've been to his house
Yeah.
twice now. I didn't answer my question what I look for in women. My main thing is
You don't have to. You
I know,
have your woman.
but it's still nice to know. I mean, like
Did she
in
fit
general.
the billing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
hope so.
It's all like for me, the biggest killer. If a woman has brown eyes,
Really?
that is a dead thing. It's like boom. I am like, yeah.
I had a. Okay, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah.
my buddy in college, it was always dark hair, dark eyes.
Yeah, and then the personality. I mean, you got to have a good personality.
You got to mesh.
Yeah.
You gotta mesh well. I remember we used to talk about in high school those chicks that wore those like princess looking pants. I don't know what they're
Oh,
called.
the ones with the lettering
No,
on their butt.
No, not that. That's kind of. Never mind. But the ones where it was kind of like they
Princess?
flared out with the legs that are like almost like yoga pants, but like I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I know
Yeah,
what you're saying.
I'm
Those
sure
are
the girls
yoga
like-
pants.
Yeah. No, they were like flared out or whatever.
At the
Yeah.
ankle.
I've done most of my dating actually after high school.
You did.
But I think now I hope I find one, and I don't want this to sound derogatory towards any girl that I've dated up till now, but
Yeah.
finding one who's not quote unquote crazy.
Yes, I agree.
The crazy ones happen.
And maybe I should replace the word crazy with can be difficult,
Right.
very difficult.
Right. Rick had a number. He had one. He had a girl.
Yeah.
she was weird. She was gonna take his razor blades because she didn't want him to shave.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say her name.
Does
We're not
that
gonna
one
say her
start
name.
with a J?
No.
That she was worse.
Oh, I don't
than the
think
one
I
you're
met
talking
that
about,
one.
though.
The one with the J?
No, she just didn't want me to shave because, well, she thought I looked like Ed Sheeran. She literally.
You do look like Ed Sheeran.
Right.
Oh my god.
I look like Ed Sheeran, kind of Carson Wentz, Prince Harry, and kind of.
Oh
over
my
the rim.
God.
It's like the ginger, like.
You're putting all that together and it works.
Yeah. Yet I was single for like the greater part of the decade.
Right.
But no, I heard what happened was on that. I won't mention the name, but I'm getting ready for work at like 5:30 in the morning. I get this message. Yeah, we'll call her Sarah. Nobody knows there's a million Sarahs.
Okay.
But what happened was she messaged me, and the only line she says is, "Hey, you look like Ed Sheeran, but that's a good thing."
Not sure how to take that.
Why would you say, but that's a good thing?
Or not that.
Well, I don't know if she knew that I knew who Ed Sheeran was, which I didn't.
Oh.
But at the time,
do you know who Ed Sheeran is?
Yeah.
well, I know he is now. Yeah.
Well, I mean not everybody know. Brett, it's not like you don't know what a fucking movie is where I'll mention it. It came out 10 years ago. How do I know you know Ed Sheeran?
Hey, he can hit a line, though.
If people don't know stuff, it's usually you.
You don't normally know things.
I might not have seen it, but I know what it is.
There's times when you're like, I don't even know this exists.
Well, that's true.
I'm still looking for these pants.
And you know what? That's good. You don't necessarily have to.
Anyway.
So she was a real loony.
No, I mean, to you guys, yeah. I mean, she was normal, but I mean, she kind of
freaked Alex out.
She had a lot of energy.
I do have to say she was really good with
Alex
kids.
is not a good judge.
Well, she was a nanny.
Females.
The fuck she's not.
No, meaning she doesn't get along with most other females.
She is a good judge.
She might be a good judge.
Because she can pick out the good things in a girl.
But she doesn't get along. She's never gotten along with a girl that I've dated.
That's not her fault.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying she doesn't tend to hang out with females.
Why are chicks jealous of Alex? Is it because she can hang out with guys easily?
It could be.
The trend for my high school was low-cut jeans where they're almost falling off.
This
is for women.
The same, yeah.
Hip
and
huggers.
and almost belly shirts still, but it was very tight tees was what girls were wearing when I was in high school.
I think a lot of ours were the pants without the pockets in the back.
Oh yeah,
I had a buddy that just loved that.
I hated those.
Really?
Those are stupid.
Being an ass man.
Well, I know, and it's strange.
Yeah, right? Wow. What I have written down on the board is millennial actions. So this is something I had happen to me a couple weeks ago where I was sitting there at the grocery store and I actually had something happen to me where I was like, what's something personally that a millennial does that you are ashamed of that you do yourself? Mine's the most antisocial thing you can do. For me, I will fake a phone call to avoid conversations.
I've faked a phone call. I faked a phone call to get out of a bad haircut.
Oh yeah.
Like this is bad, but I walked in a haircut. I saw who was gonna cut my hair next. I just did not have a good feeling about it. So I was up. This is a Great Clips, you know. And I walked in. I'm like, oh crap, I'm up next. It looks like it did not look like she was gonna do a good job at all. So I was like, oh hey dad, you know. My dad goes, I actually called him.
Oh, yeah.
and he goes, why you calling me? I'm like, actually, I got to get a haircut. He's like, I've done the same thing.
We inadvertently bash millennials on this show. And
we are.
That's not what we're trying to do.
Right.
Because when you think about it, the generation above us or the older parts of our generation hated us when we were kids.
Absolutely.
So it repeats itself.
It does.
But, I honestly can't think of anything. Other than the fact that when I'm killing time sitting and just relaxing, observing, whatever, out comes the phone.
Yeah. I think that's just become a normal habit.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get that phantom vibrate on your legs?
Yes.
Where I have my phone. This happened to me 2 days ago. My phone was sitting on my desk. I was in the other room. I felt my leg vibrate. And I was like, there's no phone. Like, I don't have it on me. Some kind of weird connection.
And as far as being out in public, the one reason why I do it is so that people don't think I'm some creepy staring person.
Exactly. I mean, that's one thing too. It's like bringing out a newspaper.
And the possibility of avoiding someone who may want to talk. Not that I
That's
don't
the
want
same
to,
thing with
but
me.
it's like instead of having an awkward conversation of, I don't really want to talk,
Yeah.
you just look busy.
Rick, did you have something different that you do?
I did. If you see a bunch of younger kids like gathering, or millennials, I guess we're calling them, like we were at bowling the other night, just with some people from work.
Yeah.
And there is a whole table of them. Nobody's talking to each other.
Oh,
They're just all on their phone.
Yeah.
It looked like not a word was said, but then we'll get to somewhere, and sometimes we'll all be kind of on our phone.
You'll all be on your phone.
And I look at those kids, and I'm like, talk, like
you're missing out.
Interact, you know,
Yeah.
like we used to, you know.
Right.
I think it would be interesting to hang out in a group of teenagers.
Yeah.
Just to see how it's different from when I was a teenager hanging out in
Here's
groups.
the thing. Teenagers, every single one of them wants to be heard. So they're just going to be loud and obnoxious.
No, if they're on their phones, they
People
won't.
anger you just on a daily basis.
Not as bad anymore.
I get that.
You were just yelling at your phone over Twitter.
Well, that's social media.
I mean, I get like that too. I mean,
Alex was telling me this the other day. We've kind of spanned away from our nerd chat. I kind of wanted to bring back into some playing and watching, just a little bit. So, Rick, you haven't been on the podcast in over a year.
Yeah.
What, are you doing anything like as far as playing or watching? Are you doing anything on your Xbox? Are you watching something specific?
Rocket League, just kind of
messing around.
Yeah, do a bunch of just.
Well, if you ever want to join me, I'm on.
Yeah,
I never
definitely.
see you actually online.
I kind of hide it from.
I
work,
do too.
But yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I usually put it on appear offline.
Up here offline, huh?
I
Do you ever play online?
Yeah.
You
That's
do?
what
Okay.
that's what I usually do. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I'm a little offended that you wouldn't play Gears of War with us. You played Madden instead.
I didn't. Well, I didn't have. I don't have it.
You don't have
Yeah.
free?
No, I didn't have it.
I thought
So
it was
yeah.
I guess I'm not offended anymore.
Yeah.
Wasn't it free?
Might have
I
been
thought
at one
Gears-
point, but yeah, I just didn't have it
Oh.
queued up in my past downloads and all that. I just started the second Life is Strange because I did the first one.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of got through almost the first about halfway through that. So
Before
I'm
the
kinda going
storm.
through, before the storm.
Yeah,
I'm
I started
going
playing
through
that
right
too.
now.
I played that when last summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get all the way through. I just started playing the first episode. I got sidetracked with Rocket League and
Kind of my go-to now is Ghost Recon Wildlands still.
You're still on it.
I'm approaching, I'm between 250 to 300 hours on that. When I don't want to think hard about stuff, it's just kind of that's what I'll play because
Right on.
at this point it's relatively repetitive, but it's still fun as hell.
Yeah.
But I did watch something that I wanted to talk about real quick.
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
That is Lethal Weapon. If they know that he's working the case that is directly linked to his wife's murder, they should have taken him off
yeah,
of that.
because that would be
It's a major conflict of interest. Not to
conflict.
mention that he's not quite ready to return to active duty.
Right, exactly.
So it was just kind of seemed like a hole.
It's a
to me.
terrible setup for a great movie.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I wish they could do one more.
Was that what year? Was it in the 80s?
Well, they got the TV show now.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
I haven't watched a minute.
Me
of it,
neither.
but-
No.
Now, Joe Pesci's in the third one, and I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
that
Leo
one. 'cause
Guest.
I like
Yeah.
Joe
Joe
Pesci.
Pesci's character, he's very fun.
Yeah.
How many times have you bought a PS3?
This has got to be your
A PS3?
third, right?
No, it's just one. I've had a bunch of PS2s.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you had a PS3 when you were living in Canterbury.
Oh well, that was chicks.
That was the one that starts with J.
Yeah, yeah.
She took it with her.
See, I don't know the J name.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
was
her.
worse than the
Was
S.
she the one that got into your shit?
Maybe. It's been a long road.
So for me, I'm doing Rocket League. I'm going crazy on it. The new season just started as far as competitive matching goes, so I started that back up.
It's so weird how even today there's stuff in Seinfeld that you can relate to.
Oh, it's all relevant.
It is.
Absolutely all relevant.
His stand-up is great.
Yeah.
It is.
I wish I could go see him.
It's the show about nothing, but it's
about
makes
everything.
total sense.
It is very much so about everything.
Although, you can tell that things will be different given the technology because, like the 2-line phone problem.
Yeah.
Well, nobody has a phone in their
Hold on a
apartment
second.
now.
Exactly. Just the other day, I had someone ask, "Oh, what's your home phone number?" I was like, "It's my cell phone." They're like, "You don't have a home phone?" I was like, "Who does?
Yeah.
Who has a home phone these days? Nobody does."
I was thinking of Seinfeld, the roommate switch, where they're talking about pulling that off, and basically Jerry's dating a one roommate, but he wants to date the other one. And so him and Costanza, they're sitting there, they're at the diner, just thinking it all out. You see just a montage of just food everywhere, and they're like, how do we pull it? And then George's like, I got it, It's just,
So how'd they do it?
I think he just said it, came out and said it. Or Menage a Trois, that's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
Menage a Trois,
Yeah,
yep.
that's right. Yeah, and then it turned out she was down for it, and then
Oh.
So, but I mean, just relevant stuff like that. Like
Nice.
people.
I just
think of.
before we started recording, I watched the episode of The Big Salad.
Yes.
And what's funny in that is that George buys this big salad to give to Elaine, but the woman he's with took credit for it. It's not about the money, but she took credit for getting Elaine the big salad when I'm the one who bought it. And I'm like, as neurotic as that is, it makes total sense.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what, not so much that it's what would bother me is what bothered him is if you know you didn't pay for it, you shouldn't take credit for it.
As a couple, you take credit together.
In a marriage.
Not
Dating in
too.
a date.
Dating
not
sometimes
in
too.
a brand new dating scenario.
Okay, how long were they together?
I don't know.
Okay, see,
Seinfeld.
at what point do you consider yourself
Well, okay, let me-
together?
let me
with
say
Susan,
this.
right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was this
It was-
after Susan died?
It was before
Before.
Susan died, but it was after they had their thing.
Oh,
It was
I know
before
what
she
you're talking
came
about.
back.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up here. Rick, do you have anything you want to say? Is it better than the first time?
Yeah, it's probably better than the first time. I kind of knew what to expect, you know.
Yeah,
but,
you, like when you first get on here, everyone always has the big nerves. You know, what's it like hearing myself? What's it like being recorded and stuff like that? It's not that. It's not.
No,
that bad.
it's not
Were
hard.
really
you
isn't.
you weren't on YouTube last time. were
I
you?
was not.
He was not.
No. Yeah, no. Thanks for having me on. I mean,
Yeah.
follow
Thanks
these
for
guys.
sitting in.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
kind of boring. I don't even know what we do if it was just two of us.
You know, it's those two people podcasts. I wonder how they do it, kind of thing, because you only get in one perspective over the other. Whereas if you're doing 3 or 4, then you kind of you got different
easier to
hands in the pot. you know?
Bounce off.
Easier
It is.
conversations.
It is.
Anywho,
You know, Brett. One day we'll have to, maybe.
probably.
Yeah, try it
one
out,
day.
see how it goes. Like even commentate on something, you could do that, you know.
Yeah. All right, that's 97, guys. It's time to get out of here. Thanks for being on, Rick.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Follow these guys.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys next week for 98.
Bye.
Bye.